Parker, Colorado, and this is Sara Sach from Posh Pooch Designs coming to you live. Like I said, good morning from Parker, Colorado. This is our live video chat, and I have so much stuff to share with you. This is going to be a jam-packed live video. I have new yarns to share with you. I have some new patterns and videos to share with you. I want to talk to you about chaining and single crocheting, and then learning how to crochet on the opposite side of the chain. And I did make a little video that's real close on my hands, so that I'll put that on the blog as well when we put this on the blog. So you can look at that also. And then we also have, I wanted to tell you about a little music ditty that my husband wrote. So if we have time, we might have a little 15-second dance party. You know, you never know. Good morning, Tina. Clink. That's right. If you've got your coffee, clink in today. And like always, make sure you put where you're from. Don't put your address, of course. Just put where you're from, like Oklahoma or Iowa or Germany or wherever. It's just fun to know where everybody's watching from. And even if you watch it later, because we always put them on Facebook and YouTube, you can always put that in too, because I love to see where the people are that watch our videos. So anyway, Oklahoma. Hey, I am originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And my daughter Elizabeth, with Callie's Clips and Crochet Creations, she just moved from Oklahoma City to Mustang. And she's from Tulsa, Oklahoma too. Well, anyway, we've got a jam-packed video for you today. So let's go ahead and get started with everything we're going to talk about. The first thing I want to tell you about is some new yarns that were sent to me, or I've discovered just in the last couple of weeks. The first thing, of course, are these fun Karen cakes. And this shawl that I designed back here, this is a pattern I wrote a few years ago. It's called the Abstract Shawl. And I remade it in this pink cherry chip Karen cake. It takes just one cake. And I even had a little bit left over. So you can make that whole shawl with just one of these cakes. These are so neat. It's a very soft yarn, but not silky soft. It's like a fluffy soft. Oh, you're originally from Central New York. I've been to New York 2 times, and it was just a fly to Germany and back. I was in the airport. And I did get to see the Statue of Liberty, but just from a distance. Anyway, this yarn is really beautiful. I love the slow changing stripes, the variation. It's just gorgeous yarn. It's a soft yarn. As far as what it feels like, it reminds me of the Red Heart with Love, because you know that's my favorite yarn, by the way. But anyway, but you get 7.1 ounces, which is, where'd it go? Which is 200 grams. So these are huge, and they're great for projects, and I love them. I thought I got every color they had, but actually I missed the beigey one. But I have lots of plans for those. I'm going to set those on the ground. The other thing I got in this week is I got 2 of these. This is Shawl in a Ball, and it's called Healing Teal. And I was told about this by a friend of mine who's also a crochet designer. And the reason it's so important to her and I is we have Hashimoto's autoimmune disease. And this is called Healing Teal. And the teal is the color for autoimmune or Hashimoto's. And I thought that calling it Healing Teal was just fantastic. So I'm designing a fun wrap shawl with this yarn, and it is beautiful. It also has a slow variation change. Good morning, Michelle. Yes, the shawl behind me is on my blog and on YouTube. Just go to Ravelry or even Google. Just put in Abstract Shawl Crochet Pattern, and it will come up. And if you go to All Free Crochet, the shawl behind me, they called it the, I think, Easy Office Shawl. It's also in there. But I made a video yesterday about the shawl to show the stitches up close, because there's been some questions about how to increase. So, but I did a video yesterday, and it's on YouTube, but it's also on my blog as a written pattern. But the easiest way to find it is just go to Ravelry.com and put in abstract shawl, or just Google abstract shawl. It's a great, easy, fast shawl. It works up really quick. Yes, thank you, Tina. But anyway, I've ordered 2 of these, and I'm designing a wrap shawl for this, so that just as a healing shawl for those people who have the same issues as me. The other thing I got this week is I got 2 skeins of this. This is Red Heart Super Saver, and it's called Neon Stripes. And I haven't got to do anything with this one yet. I did the other one, I think it was the Bubblegum. That's a softer, it's kind of like Simply Soft. But this is another yarn that I got this week from Red Heart, and I cannot wait. I love when you put the black with the bright neon colors. It's just beautiful, and you can see it's a little bit shorter striping. So we'll see. I've got an idea for this, but I haven't used it yet. The other thing I got was this and this, and this is Red Heart with Love, but it's Red Heart with Love Metallic, and they've taken all of their most popular colors of Red Heart with Love and added the metallic to it. So I got this one. This is like a dark teal, and this one's just red. And I've got some fun Christmas designs I want to come up with these. They're in my brain. I haven't got them down yet. If you know me, you know there's 3 million things going on in my brain. Good morning, Melissa. Good to see you here. The other thing I got this week is, I know we've all talked about the Red Heart Scrubby yarn, and I got the red, the yellow, and the green. Again, I've got some Christmas designs in my brain again with these. And if you haven't tried the Red Heart Scrubby or the Red Heart Scrubby Sparkle, go ahead and try. Don't be afraid to try these. They're a lot of fun. And you don't have to make scrubbies with them. There's lots of other things that you can use these for. Trims and, I mean, just lots of other things. Stick around. Watch my videos. You'll see some new designs with these. So anyway, that's the new yarns that we have coming, that I have designs coming from, and of course a lot more. Now today, oh, I forgot this yarn. This yarn is the Red Heart Grande yarn. It's big and thick. It's a number 7, and it's what I made this scarf with, and I'll talk about this scarf a little later. But this is also one I just discovered, because it's a Red Heart Grande Sparkle. I don't know if you can see the sparkle. I'm trying to get you in the right light, but it's got a purple sparkle going through it, and it is so pretty. And that's another one that I picked up this week. Okay, now what I want to talk to us about today is, this is a question that I get all the time. A lot of my patterns will say single crochet down the opposite or other side of the chain, and I get that question all the time because I don't understand. And you know me, I think, oh, why don't you understand that? But if you haven't been crocheting for a really long time, it's really hard to understand some of these terminologies. So I thought I made a real quick little video yesterday, and it'll be on the blog with this one. But I'm going to put my glasses on for this part, so I hope it doesn't glare too much. So what I'm going to do, I set me up this little tray so my hands will be a little bit higher. Put my hands on here. Well, that's not going to work. Let me just do it this way. Okay, what I got is this thick yellow yarn and a big fat hook, and I'm going to show you. Another question is, I understand how to chain, I don't understand how to start to chain. So this is something that I took for granted. So what you do is you just take your yarn, you make a loop on your finger, twist it, and then pull that yarn through that loop and snug that down. That's called a slip knot. Okay, now, roll out some yarn here. When you're making chains, if you'll notice, you wrap your yarn around, and you'll notice my hook turns and grabs that yarn. And I'm going to see if I can do this so that you can see it. Now, don't panic if you can't see this really clear, because like I said, I made a little video. It's already on YouTube. I will link it to this video so that you can see it up close and from the above angle instead of across angle. But one thing to remember, when you're chaining, if you turn your hook towards the loop, it'll keep your chains snug and tight on your hook. Okay, so we've made a little chain, and our pattern says 1 single crochet in the second chain. We skip the first chain because it'll come out if we, that's why we always skip that first chain. And then we're just going to single crochet across. So, and just in case, a single crochet is you go through where you're stitching, pull the loop through, 2 loops, yarn over and pull through. So I'm just going to do a couple real fast because I think most of us know how to single crochet. Okay, so then our pattern says, now turn and single crochet down the opposite or other side, of the chain. What I do is I put 1 more single crochet in the last single crochet, and then we're going to turn our work so the chain is at the top again. So here's where we started. Here's our chain. We single crocheted this way, and now we're going to turn and single crochet down those chains. Now, it's a good idea to make sure to keep count of how many stitches that you did, because it's easy to get off when you're working on the opposite or other side of the chain. And all you do is you go in that first chain. You have to just kind of ignore the tail, push it out of the way, and just single crochet the same way. Let me hold my hands up higher. And you're going in the chain. And again, don't worry, I made a little video. It'll be on the blog so that you can see how I did this from the above angle. Okay, so all I'm doing is single crocheting in each chain. And a lot of times they'll have you put an extra chain in the last, not an extra chain, an extra single crochet in the last chain. And then once you get around, you can see it makes a really neat technique. And once you get back around, you'll join in that first single crochet you started with a slip stitch. And I'm going to do a couple of chains just so I can show it to you. Now, your pattern may tell you to do something a little different. Like it may not say put that extra single crochet here and here. Do what your pattern tells you to do. Get my glasses off because there's glare. Do what your pattern tells you to do. If it tells you to put double crochets, single crochets, half doubles, that's totally great. Do what your pattern tells you to do. But that's what they're talking about when you're single crocheting down the opposite side. Here's where we started. We chained across. We did this row that's down here. Then we turned and we did up here. And this is a really great technique because it's perfect for doing bottoms of bags, purses, slippers, anything, even like a facial expressions, mouth covers. It really is a great technique. And it was one of those things that I forgot that I totally understand, but forgot that maybe somebody else didn't. And like I said, you're not finding it. Go to Ravelry.com and put in abstract shawl. Also, it's on my blog, and it's also on YouTube. So if you're just talking about the shawl, abstract shawl. You can also go to All Free Crochet, and it's under office shawl. It's either office shawl or easy office shawl. It's a really easy pattern, and it works up really fast. That's the neat thing. I originally designed it as a Mother's Day gift before my mom passed away. Okay. So, we talked about a bunch of new yarns. We talked about that. Are you interested about my shawl that I'm wearing or my scarf? This is a pattern that I did with the, let me grab that yarn real quick, with this yarn, the Red Heart Grande. It's really soft and fluffy. And what it is I decided when I was a child, I learned how to arm knit. And when we arm knitted in school, we did it in school for art. I think 3rd grade. I can't remember. Boy, that was a long time ago. But anyway, when we learned to arm knit, we arm knitted off of each other's arms. There were 2 of us, and they would group us in 2s, and then we learned to arm knit. And of course, the yarn we used back then was like a rug yarn, really scratchy stuff. And anyway, it was a lot of fun. I forgot about it. And I've been thinking about, oh good, I'm glad you found it, Judith. I'm glad you found it. But anyway, I've been wanting to come up with some new and different things, and I thought I would see if I could, because I used to do finger knitting and crochet knitting, finger crocheting, sorry, and I do want to do a video on both of those, just because there's something fun you can do with your kids. And this you really could do with your kids, because you can, I did this on my own arms, and it's not hard. I did a video on it on YouTube. It was really fun, actually, and I've got some ideas of mixing some other yarns to see what other colors look good together, so it's a lot of fun. The real key is it works best with a big chunky yarn, and even though this is a number 7, I used 2 strands. And I made another one, a cream color one out of Wool Ease from Lion Brand. And I used 3 strands of yarn of that one. And I like how it turned out. I didn't do it as thick as far as this one. I did 5 stitches. The white one I just did 3, I think. So, so it depends on what you want. And the neat thing about this is beautiful. And it's super easy. Isn't that pretty? You can see those big knit stitches. When we were kids, they were smaller because our arms were smaller. But I really love how it looks. It is a little complicated as far as getting your gauge, because, you know, depending on what stitch you're on and moving back and forth, it can be a little loose. But I didn't care, because you can see the edges are a little looser and stuff. I added my butterfly. This is my Hashi butterfly. And I think it has lots of colors in it. I think it looks really good with this purple cowl. And you can make it as a cowl or a scarf. It's just a lot of fun. And that's what I did. And this is a video I did Thursday or Friday last week. So it is on YouTube. And there's also a, I took some pictures as I went with the white one. And there's also some pictures. One neat thing about YouTube, a good way to tie up the kids. It is a good way to keep them tied up time-wise. And it is a lot of fun. You know, a lot of times kids are like, what are you doing, Mom? I want to learn that. And they're just not ready for hooks or needles. And so this is a fun way. You could put the 2 kids together and have them knit off each other's arms. So it's a lot of fun. And so what I thought I would do, since this is arm knitting, and I've got plenty of chunky yarns around, I also want to do a video on finger knitting and finger crochet, just because it's fun, because I want to do some different type things. So that's what this is. And then of course we talked about this shawl back here. Like I said, this is the abstract shawl. The first one I made with this design, you're not a mean mom, I don't think. I bet you're not. But anyway, the yarn that I used was the Red Heart Abstract, and it worked up beautifully. It's a beautiful yarn. And then when I bought the Karen Cakes, I thought this would be perfect to try this out. Let me show you the back of it. See how the colors are? You've got light, and then it goes into this darker and shades back up. And it's just beautiful. And I love how it's just a big, thick stripe of color. And it gradually changes, and it's just beautiful. And this yarn really is a nice soft yarn, but it also holds its shape really well. So, and this particular shawl works up really fast, because you're increasing on both ends of every row, and it just gets nice and wide, and it makes a nice big wrap. So that's why it's one of my favorite patterns. It's one of my most popular patterns and designs. Okay, so we talked about this one, we talked about that one. The other thing that's going to be my videos this week is I designed this little paw badge. I think I did it like a year and a half ago. And a lot of people are using it for Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol, my granddaughters love, and my grandson love Paw Patrol. And I didn't realize it was such a big deal. But I've had a lot of requests for the badge. And so I'm going to be doing just a quick little video of how to make this little badge. And then this is a cape that I put it on. Got a little tickle. And so I thought I would do a video to show you how to do the cape, because it's a great thing to use for Halloween. Dress up for your dogs or cats or goats. I have a wonderful friend that has goats, and she talks about her goats, and she loves those goats. And I love hearing her stories about her goats. She loves those goats like I love my dogs. And I love hearing her stories. So anyway, maybe I have to get her to make one of these for her goats. So anyway, I always say that. But we're going to be doing the badge on one video, and how to make the simple little cape on another video. And then the last thing that I was going to talk about is next week we are going to be starting our Crochet Along for our Chihuahua rag dolls. Loppen Poppen, or Loppen Pop in German. And it's just German for rag doll or rag dolls. Poppen is plural. And that's going to start next week. So what we'll be doing is I'll be doing the videos on Monday. We'll have a live video on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I'll have the last 3 videos. Monday's video will just be collecting your supplies and what you're going to need. And then post tons and tons of pictures when you're done. And the pattern is already out there, so if you've already made one, feel free to add it to your Ravelry projects or just post it on my Facebook page. I love to see what other people are making with my designs. And so that's going to be happening next week. I told you we have a jam-packed video today. The last thing we're going to do is I want to tell you about the music that my husband wrote. I know y'all probably don't know this. My husband is extremely talented. He can play just about any instrument, the piano, the guitar. He plays a alto saxophone, alto clarinet, flute, I mean everything, anything wind, anything string. He can, and he's very talented in music. He's got a God-given talent. And so I told him I wanted him to write me a little ditty, or whatever you call it. I call it a ditty, to put at the beginning of my videos. And I've been using it probably a couple of weeks, and he made me several shorter or longer versions depending on what I'm doing. And I want you to hear it. So I'm just gonna real quick load up this music, and then we can have a little 15-second dance party, okay? All right, let me get it going. I'm just gonna load it real quick. All right, this may put a video at the beginning. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? Can you hear it? All right, everybody start dancing. 15 seconds. Here, let me do the Elaine. Come on, people. Are you dancing to the music? All right, that's it. I have several longer versions, a 30-second and a 60-second, depending on what I need. I'm just so proud of him that he did that for me, and I'm just so thankful because I wanted music at the beginning of some of my videos that was special and different and unique. And I told him, I said, I want it to be a little rock, but I also want it to be a little light. And I love guitar, and I'm going to have him do me a guitar one too that's just guitar. So anyway, I say that all the time in my videos. We talked about a lot of stuff today, and and if you want to see the beginning, we talked about all the new yarns that have been sent to me or I've acquired. We talked about how to crochet on both sides of the chain. And of course, like I said, I made a little video so you can see it from above. It's just like, I think 4 minutes. And I'll have that on the blog, and I'll link it to this video as well from YouTube. And then also we talked about all the new patterns and designs. I told you it was a jam-packed video today. Well, I got to let you go. And I'm so glad you popped in. Clink in with your coffee. And it's a busy day around here. We've got a wonderful gentleman staying with us who's having some surgeries and things. And I want to let you go so I can make sure everything's ready for him too. So, thank you for coming into my yarn studio, spending some time with me, and watching my videos. I couldn't do what I love to do without you all. You're a blessing to me. Have a great Tuesday.